Look at that. Ooh-wee, look at those vegan tacos. Okay, so today we're going to be making these delicious tacos using fresh jackfruit. But first we're going to need to separate the flesh from the rest of the fruit. These pods are what we're going to use for the meat of our tacos. This jackfruit was pretty sticky, so I recommend you use some gloves if you try this yourselves. I ended up with so much jackfruit by the end of this that I'm probably going to use half this amount for the recipe and freeze the rest to use later for some smoothies. This is what it's going to look like when you're finished separating it all. We're going to start by adding some oil to a hot skillet and sweating down some chopped white onion. We're going to let this cook for a few minutes before adding some freshly chopped garlic. I added about 8 cloves of garlic, which yes, I know seems like a lot, but probably wasn't enough. I love garlic, so whenever I see a recipe that only uses 2 cloves of garlic, I don't trust it. Anyways, so let that cook down for a bit longer before adding your fresh jackfruit. I also roughly chopped the jackfruit before adding it to the skillet. I just thought the pieces were a bit too big and this would be easier to cook down. Now we're going to go in with our spice mix. I use salt, pepper, cumin, smoked paprika, red pepper flakes, and oregano. Now we're going to stir it around before adding the juice from 1 orange and 2 limes. After making this, I would probably leave out the orange just because fresh jackfruit is already sweet enough, but if you're using canned jackfruit, then I highly recommend it. And then we're going to give it another stir, lower the heat, and place our lid on it for about 15 minutes. So I preheated my oven to 450 degrees. And while that's simmering away, we're going to prep our fresh salsa ingredients by adding tomatillos, a jalapeno, and more garlic to a pan and coating this in olive oil. We're going to set this aside and wait for the jackfruit to cook down. Once the 15 minutes is up, we're going to add the jackfruit to a sheet of parchment paper. We're going to spread this out nice and good, and we're going to bake this for about 25 minutes. We've also got our fresh salsa ingredients going in the oven. This is only going to need about 10 minutes in the oven. Once your salsa ingredients are nice and roasted, we're going to let them cool down a bit before adding it to a food processor. I'm going to be adding some fresh cilantro, white onion, some more garlic, fresh avocado, lime juice, and sea salt. We're going to give this a nice blend. And look how creamy and delicious that looks. Oh my goodness. Transfer this to a bowl and we're going to set it aside. Now we get to the fun part of prepping our taco. Make sure you use your fingers when flipping tortillas, guys. They come out so much better. I'm just kidding. Don't burn yourselves, guys. Once you have your tortillas cooked, we're going to add them to a nice little plate here, or cutting board. And then we're going to add a generous amount of our jackfruit meat to each of these tortillas. Once those are all in place, we're going to go in with our fresh salsa. I liked it a little bit spicy, so I add kind of a lot here, but you don't have to. Then we're going to garnish it with some fresh cilantro. Get them all looking pretty. There we go. Nice. Ooh, missed one. Alright, let's give it a taste. Ooh, wee. Look at that. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching this video. I would appreciate if you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. I've got some more content on the way soon, so stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.